Welcome back to the Worship Nugs podcast. I'm in a back room backstage in our church. Anything could happen. This is being recorded live. Anybody could walk back here, and we're just going to go with it, and it's going to be so much fun. I'm so pumped for today's guest, fresh off of his tour. He's about to go back on tour. You've seen his AI videos that are going viral as we speak. You know who I'm talking about. Rhett Walker is with us today. We're going to bring him in just a minute. But if you're new to the podcast, which is everybody except for my mom, my aunt Sharon, and my cousin Jeremy, they're the only three people that I know for sure are watching the Worship Nugs podcast. But what's crazy is we were checking our, you have to see who's watching and who's doing the thing, and somehow, by the grace of God, or maybe just dumb luck, we had 3.5 million views last month on our reels and our posts. And so somebody's watching, and either they think it's really funny or they're making fun of us. Either way, we're here for it. But we're going to bring in Rhett Walker. If you're on your couch, if you're whatever you're doing, just go ahead and put your hands together, give him a little round of applause, and welcome my friend Rhett Walker. What's going on, man?
What's up, dude?
Man, living the dream over here, dude. Living the dream.
Love it.
I just noticed before we get into the Lord's work, I just noticed the demon on that belt behind you, and so we're gonna stop and pray right now. I'm kidding, I'm kidding. What's so funny is I think that's the first time we started chatting. I think we started talking smack about college football one Saturday, which is how most friendships are born, is college football. But man, we're going to dive into it today. We've got a lot to talk about. You've been super busy on the road. But before we get too far into that, would you just kind of catch us up? Tell us who you are. I'm sure most of those listening and watching will know and follow what you're doing. But just kind of give us the 30-second elevator pitch of who Rhett Walker is and what you're doing, what you've been up to.
I am a tired dad that just adopted a mini golden doodle, and so
Oh my gosh!
the day we came home from the last day of tour, we picked up this dog, and me and my wife were like, "What in the world?" But no, I'm an artist, a believer, a husband of 21 years, a dad to 4. I got signed back in 2012. Put out my first single, When Mercy Found Me. It got nominated for a Grammy, and to the races we've been since then. And God's been good and faithful. And the big thing, not to over spiritualize it, but when me and my wife, we were a teenage pregnancy story. So we got married at 17. So our oldest, I've got 20 down to 7 on the age wise.
Wow.
But that's when we got saved, and we said, Lord, if you open the door, we're gonna go through it. And so he's just been continually opening up doors, and so I've walked through them and went to whatever stage he continues to give me and try to be faithful with it.
Wow. Well, I was going to say you look 21. So to have been married 21 years, you know what I mean? The Lord's been good. No, I'm kidding. No, that's incredible, man. Yeah, I know you've been putting out music for a long time. I think for me, the first time I think your music popped up on a playlist was this cover that you did of Goodness of God.
Oh yeah.
Which is, I mean, what a song, right?
Yes.
And then from there, I'm like, who is this guy? And so I love what you're doing. I want to hear about tour. Before I forget, I've got to mention and let people know that I recently rededicated my life to the Lord once I heard your version of Carol of the Bells. It's so good, dude. Like, I mean, I don't know. And maybe I've not heard everything you've done, but that for me was like, man, this is a cool side of Rhett Walker,
Yeah.
like rock and roll. I wasn't ready. I'm going to tell you, I was not. Somebody texted me actually and said, bro, have you heard this version? And I was like, I know that guy. Well, I'm going to listen to it. And I was like, this is so cool. Can you talk to us before we get into tour stories? Talk to us about this fresh version of Carol of the Bells you got going on.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely went in really hard on that song. And I was listening to, I'd put out, many Christmas covers over the years, and they've always been kind of my vibe. But we put out some pretty heavy stuff back in the day. I have a record called Here's to the Ones that starts off with this song called Clone. That goes pretty heavy. Dead Man. There's a song called Love Done. And it's just all these heavy guitar riff songs. And in the spring, we did a tour, And people were like, dude, you got to bring back those. And I was like, I don't know how to do a show that is all of these together. So I was like, you know what? I could at least do like a Christmas cover
Yeah,
and go pretty heavy. And I grew up that era, like my first band was a hardcore band.
dude, let's
And
go.
like I grew up on, A Day to Remember, like The Used and just that kind of stuff. But also like Audio Slave, which is why what I always like, that's what I lean towards to sing like and be able to have the range. And I was listening to something, I think it was Caramel by Sleep Token, and I was like, I really like how it gets insanely heavy by the end of this song, but it doesn't start like that, and it has this like Latin beat in the middle. And so we did the song and put it out, and people loved it. They were thankful. But then for this tour, we did our set list like that. It doesn't make sense, but somehow it all made sense.
Wow, I love that. No, I knew we were kindred. I grew up metal. Where I'm from, it's a suburb of Atlanta, and we were kind of known back in the day. We're probably similar in age. I just turned 40, so that early 2000s kind of
Yep.
era when it was just everything, and our little suburb of Atlanta was we're kind of known because of the band Norma Jean. If you remember Norma Jean,
Oh yeah,
they
I
came
love
from
Norma Jean.
yeah, they came from like they went to high school right up the road, and they went to church around here, and so like this whole I just grew up in it. That was my thing. That was kind of my safe haven growing up, was going to these local shows and getting in the mosh pit. And did you ever hardcore dance? Did you ever do
Oh,
that?
dude, yeah, yeah, we did, and you punch people in the name of the Lord.
Yeah, come
And
on.
dude, that was kind of cool era too, because like a lot of these hardcore shows were in the basement of a like old
Yeah,
church, and like the church would let all these crazy people in. But it was also funny because, um, I guess maybe I don't know if it's just me, but it felt like me and my friends, every metal band was a Christian band. But
yeah,
then, like, then it was like, oh,
yeah,
no, they're not.
yeah,
It's
yeah. No,
like
dude, same.
you just
Yeah,
said it so your parents would allow it. You're like, nah, they point to God.
yeah, yeah. No, same, bro. I was so sheltered that I didn't think there was non-Christian
Yeah.
metal. I even the very first time I ever, which this isn't metal, but kind of in the rock kind of lane, the very first time I ever heard "Higher" by Creed was at a youth group, in a youth
Yes.
service, and so I thought, still maybe kind of do that. I think Creed might just be a Christian band. I mean, I think we can put them in that
Have you heard Scott
category.
Stapp talk about that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah,
Where
yeah,
he was like, the band guys weren't. He was like, but I felt called to. I mean, dude, Higher is a Christian song,
dude.
dude.
It'll,
Things that point that song is more vertical than some worship songs I've heard
dude.
as of late.
Come on. Come on, say that.
Every church should
Clock it,
lead that
as they
on
say.
Sunday morning.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm changing my set list right now. Um, yeah, no, dude, seriously, and it's I think when we get to heaven, as we walk through the gates, it's just gonna play on the loudspeakers. I also told Jen Johnson that Holy Forever would be playing on the loudspeakers, so it'll be one of the two,
Yes.
or maybe a mashup. Higher,
Ho-
Holy Forever. That's the next one.
Holy Forever is my favorite worship song right
Oh,
now.
dude,
That song is incredible.
I'll tell you the quick story, and then I want to hear some of your stories. But when we were at the K Loves, we got to chat with Jen. We were on the red carpet doing some stuff for a friend, and I straight up I told her, I was like, I love, this song is so special, and she said she literally walked in the room like Chris and Phil were writing this song, and they needed a chorus, and she was like, what if you just go and the angels cry, like out of like nowhere. She just like had this
Mm.
thing on reserve, like just walked in
Here's
the room.
here's our faith,
Yeah,
and here's where she might be. She's a little closer to God
probably.
than
Yeah, I
and
know.
God
I would agree. Yeah.
God is probably like, you're there because of some of the content that you post.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. Maybe we should just take our shoes off when we leave worship. I don't know. I'm kidding. But okay, so I want to talk all things tour. You just got off tour. One of the things I love about you, man, and anybody that follows you can probably attest to this, is that I love that your family is with you. Y'all are kind of doing this thing together. To me, that's the dream. Like that's living the dream.
Yeah.
I know with us, my wife, we've got two kids, and every yes that we give, we have to consider our family. Is this a yes for our family? It can't just be a yes for me. It's got to be a yes for everybody. And so I love that you had your kids on the road. But could you take just a couple of minutes and just tell us how the tour went? Maybe some highlights, some low lights, some things like, oh man, that was crazy. You have any tour war stories for us?
Yeah, I love what you said though. A yes to something is a no to something
Mm,
else. And you got to put in the work. And I spent a lot of time on the road over the years, and where my family couldn't necessarily go every time. And about 2 years ago, I made the decision like I'm only going to do 2 weekends a month because I love y'all. I got asked to do Winter Jam this past year, and we didn't do that because I wasn't going to be able to bring my family. And because it's such a long tour,
yeah,
I would love to be on Winter Jam. It just wasn't for me for that season, and
yeah,
maybe now if I could bring my family, I'd do it. But it became a thing where we were like, right, we could all get on the bus and do this as a family. It's going to be crazy and chaotic, but let's go.
yeah.
And so at that time, I was praying that God would continue to bless me with, band guys, hired guns. Matt Paco plays guitar with me, and he's been doing it for 8 years with me. We've been together for a long time. And then the Klein, the band, they opened for me in the fall. And I was like, why don't y'all just come be my band
Mm,
and bring your wife who sings? She can sing BGVs for me. Then people will see y'all's band. Y'all can sing a song. But it was like, how do we just have all the family atmosphere?
mm,
And then it was just one big family on the road, man. And
wow.
it's so much fun. My oldest daughter sings for me. My oldest son plays guitar for me. And then Autumn and Cash, they come out there on one song. Cash just does the worm or whatever Fortnite dance is in all over the stage. But Autumn, she sings a song called "All Joy No Stress" with me.
Wow.
But man, it's been good. We ended it on a bang. We sold out North Carolina, and so that was fun. Just because I tell you, the worst thing in touring ever is when you have like a sold out night the night before the last night of tour, and
Mm,
then the last night of tour is just like, did y'all know we were coming to town? Like so we really got to end it on a high, um, and it was one of those tours, man. Like we went after how do we point to God.
mm,
And I told people each night like the tour is named after one of my songs, Look at God, but the thing behind that song really is, let's not get it twisted. It's never about Rhett. It's never about the lights. It's never about the show or the
mm,
haze. Those are cool when you put together a cool show and people want to be entertained. But let's not forget, I'm not the one that can save you. I can't fix your problems. I can't fix your marriage. I can't fix your kids. But I can point you to one that can if you'll
mm,
just put your eyes on them. And so it was cool to hear the stories and talk to people afterwards that were like, man, I've just been walking through hell on earth, and I got the phone call I never thought I'd get, or I got, my marriage is falling apart, or whatever it may be,
mm,
and I surrendered that to God tonight,
mm.
and I'm like, dude, that's the first step.
Oh,
That's all you could do, and to know that we're traveling all over, tired, rainy, snowy, hot, whatever it may be. That band, and I posted about it on Instagram last night. That band of people that are traveling with me, my family included, you didn't see it on stage. They went in and we worshiped and sang songs with people that we might not have ever met this side of heaven, which is
wow.
all I want to do.
Wow, man, I love that. We just got to we had Jordan Felice and his crew here for their tour at our church. What you got to get you here, man. Let you
Oh
just
yeah.
peel the paint off the wall. But we're releasing a song in January, and they were so gracious to let us kind of kind of debut it for our church before they got up. But a part of he's kind of talks about the same thing, how the Lord's really been pulling in his heart every show to have a moment that makes room kind of for the presence of the Lord for worship. And so in the middle of their set, they slowed it down and they went into worship. And I thought it was so powerful. I know for me, we talk about hardcore bands. for me, the way that I knew I wanted to be in a hardcore band, had the Lord given me the gift of scream, like if I could, if my voice could do it, bro, that we'd be a different story, bro.
Done.
It'd be done. So the Lord knew He had to keep that from me because I would have held on to it. But we would have all these big shows here in town, and thanks to Norma Jean, the culture was just crazy. But I remember when I knew that I wanted to be somebody that pointed people to Jesus and that heart, like you're sharing, look at God. Is we had? Do you remember Maylene and the Sons of Disaster? Do you remember that?
That's one of my favorite bands.
So good,
Down,
dude.
down,
Yeah,
down, down,
dude.
down, down.
So good. They're the only Christian band that can play shirtless, and we don't
Yeah,
question it. We're good. But
that's
they were
great.
back then. Kids today will never know the struggle of switching out a back line. You got your Marshall stacks and the whole thing. Now it's
Yeah.
all digital for the most part, but they were doing a set change and moving stuff around, and they were like, "Hey, Johnny, before Mailing gets up there, do you want to just do a couple acoustic songs?" I said, sure, So this is, many moons ago, but I did one original song that was probably about some girl that broke my heart at 17. But then do you remember that song, Freedom Reigns in This Place?
Oh
Freedom reigns
yeah,
in this place. I only had one original song. So I did that one second,
that's
and
awesome, man.
and I walked off stage, and this girl came up to me, and you could tell visibly by looking at her that she was struggling with self-harm, and she had just tears streaming down her face, and she said, "I don't know what I'm feeling right now, but I can't stop crying." And that's when
Mm.
I knew it's so much bigger than us and our
Yeah.
songs. Our songs are just a vehicle to get people to look at God. So I love that so much, man. I love that. So you just came off tour. I want to ask you a couple of questions that I like to. Anytime I get to sit down with people, I just want to hear their heart on this. And we can go as fast or slow as you want to go, but I'd really love to know your heart right now when it comes to Christian music and CCM. Two things: what's working, and where maybe are some areas where we can grow in that community of Christian music and artists. And I know it's, if you get on Instagram for 2.5 seconds, it's crazy, right? There's
Yeah.
you can go down a bunch of rabbit trails, but from your perspective, what are we doing really well in Christian music, and what are some areas we can grow?
I think right now one of the coolest things is we are shaping culture more than we ever have.
Mm,
I mean, if you look at like what Brandon Lake is doing, and we can have 1,000 different discussions about Jelly Roll, like you said, like Google it, and somebody's gonna be like, I hate that Jelly Roll is on his journey, and we put him on a Christian song, and other people are like, I love to watch it.
mm,
Um, that for me, one of my favorite things was like Russell Brand, watching him on his journey right now. Of like, I think he understands God. Like it's
yeah,
fun. But so many times as Christians, it's like, hey, are you going to hell or heaven? Because there ain't no way in heaven I'm gonna put you on radio.
yeah,
It's like, no, man. All of my songs. If you want to go that route, all of my songs are written by a sinner.
mm,
So it's like, you know, it's all about what God puts in our heart. So I love the fact that Jelly's on that, and that we're kind of seeing, it shape culture. Forrest Frank, like what he's done for Christian music, and I don't mean that in a way of like it's all on him. What God has done through him,
yeah,
he got Christian music. I mean, everywhere, dude. People are doing TikToks that aren't believers using his music, and maybe it's because of surfaces or whatever. I think it's simply like the kid's got. I say kid. I think he's a kid. The kid's got a great heart, and
yeah,
I think he really has a massive passion for getting that out there, getting Jesus to the masses. I think that, and I think we're seeing it happen. Um, and so I love the fact that I think people are trying to hone their craft a lot more. Um, they're we don't really sound extremely different than pop radio anymore, which is fantastic musically. Because for a while, dude, you could flip through the station and immediately be like, "Yeah, there's that."
yeah.
You know, but I think on what we could do better, I think we got to quit regurgitating things. Like
Mm,
there's limited things to talk about in the Bible in our life, and we're going to be saying the same. That's like you can't say holy because it was used in holy forever. There's going to be certain things and topics because we're only talking about one thing,
Mm,
and
yeah.
that's our belief system. But I just feel like we've gotten into this like buzzword type thing where we're saying a bunch of things. Sometimes that's like I know what that means, but like there's no depth, there's no gravity to it.
Mm,
And so that might just be a personal thing because that's usually where I write from. I write from life lived and lessons learned. Like, man, I
yeah.
walked through this, and back to like 21 years ago. Not everybody walks through a teenage pregnancy, but everybody walks through something where they're gonna go, dude, I'm on a quick road to destruction. Like
Mm,
it's got to be. I got to get back to Jesus.
wow.
And so I think when I write from that it just it gives a story, and I just feel like there's meat there. Not that I'm the best songwriter, but I feel like we're getting to more of this. It just feels like it feels like we're just trying to put music out fast
Wow.
for some songs,
Mm,
and I'm like,
yeah.
man, let's take some time on it, and come back to it, see what God wants to do. And another thing that's a win is like you said about Jordan, and letting y'all play a song. I feel like right now Christian artists are loving on each other more than they ever have. There was a time that when I first signed, it was extreme. It was so competitive. It's like you
Yeah.
didn't want the other artist to win. And it's like, all right, this is a business. This is how we pay our bills, but we're kind of all in this together. I might not have necessarily agreed with Forrest on the award show thing, because I went and I like, and I'm not going to get into that subject, but I understand the heart of like, dude, let's not be competitive with
Yeah.
each other. Let's
Yeah.
celebrate this as a whole, and
Yeah.
and I think we're starting to do that better than ever.
Yeah, no, I love that. No, I would agree completely. I think the visibility of Christian music right now is incredible, and what God's doing is just really really special. Yeah, I would agree with all of that completely. But very well said. I want to shift gears a little bit to what you got coming up. I know,
Okay.
which I got to know. Are you a Christmas tree before Thanksgiving type guy, or do you wait till December?
The only reason it's not up right now is because we were on tour. So our Christmas lights, they came and hung them on November 1st. So they've been up. We're the only house on our street was just lit up.
I love that.
And if we were home, we usually put Christmas stuff up the day after Halloween.
Come on. Listen, I feel like that's the Lord's way.
It's not fun to celebrate for 25 days.
No.
Like you're putting up a bunch of stuff. Like we're already listening to Christmas music.
Yeah, 100%. I would agree. So I used to be cynical. I used to think I was each holiday gets their own shine type guy.
Yeah, I
Um,
get that.
but I had kids, and you're going the extra mile. You're putting up the tree. You're doing the whole thing, and like you said, you need to get your money's worth. And
Yeah.
25 days just is not long enough for what it takes me to pull that Christmas tree out the basement all the way up the stairs, put the lights outside. My wife was on the roof last week. She wouldn't let me do it. She's just handy Mandy. That's what she does. She put the crib together at 9 months pregnant. I don't know. The Lord knew what I needed, I guess. But yeah, so I would fully agree. But I mentioned Christmas because you're about to go back on the road. Uh,
Yeah.
I'm sure once you've had your Thanksgiving carbs, you're gonna hit the road again. So tell us about this Christmas family tour that you got coming up.
Yeah, I'm afraid after the Thanksgiving carbs, I'm going to look like the AI that Sora makes me sometimes, with a big old fat belly and face.
Same.
Um, but no, we're headed out. We're doing 4 shows, and we had so much fun, like we were talking about earlier, just being on the road. I was like, and people love seeing the kids, like and then I think too the story of it, like we weren't even in statistics to make it, with this marriage and having babies at that age. We were babies having babies. So I think the whole story just shows God and what he can do. And I think it's a reminder of hope for people.
Mm,
So I was like, let's go play 4 shows. And it's just me, April, and the kids. Like I'm not bringing no band, no anything. We're just going out for four. And my son's gonna play cajon. I'm playing acoustic. My daughters are singing. Cash is gonna, pass out hot chocolate or something. But it's just gonna be us as a family, singing, radio songs that y'all want to hear. But we're doing just a bunch of carols. Like I want it to be. I went to a small little church growing up, and we would do that Christmas Eve service that always ended with Silent Night and like the
Yeah.
candle. And I wanted to do that, and it's the same as like what you said about get your money's worth. I don't want to do that only on Christmas Eve. So I was like, let's see if we can go to some churches and do it. So we lined up for a week, and we're gonna take our time. We put a few days in between some of the shows, and like gonna make a stop in Chicago we usually go to New York every December. We're just gonna make a stop in Chicago this year. The kids have never seen that, and
Come
just
on.
take our time, dude. Make
Yeah.
memories.
I love that, dude. I'm only upset that I didn't know you were doing this so that we could had y'all come our way. But maybe
Oh, that'd be
next
cool.
year if you do
Yep,
it, if you run it back,
we'll
because
make it happen.
I love that, dude. I think that's incredible, and I've already started working on my Christmas mashups. How do we connect? All these
Yep.
things. But I love that, man. Well, I want to get some of your top fives here before we let you go.
Okay.
In the spirit of Christmas, as you guys are getting ready to go on the road. Um, I got to know your top five of all time. This is gonna be hard because there's a lot of these, but your top five Christmas movies, the goats. What are the five that you've goated greatest of all time?
Okay. I actually have a list.
Okay.
I'm gonna put up on my phone, but I wish before I open up my phone, I'm gonna show you this notification because when you asked to sum up who Rhett Walker is earlier, this would have been just the best way to show you. Let's see if you can see what notification that is.
Chili's. Come on.
I
do,
get Chili's notifications, bro.
do you get the free chips and salsa? Are you that member?
Oh
Same.
yeah,
Let's go.
dude. Give me the triple dipper and dude. I mean, on the road, like we probably ate Chili's of the 24 shows. We probably had it 5 times, like
Come on,
on this tour.
dude.
So,
The chicken bacon ranch quesadilla all
oh
day,
yeah,
all
honey
day.
chipotle chicken crispers,
Done.
dude.
Done.
It's done. All right. Actually, I did this because I was gonna. This is gonna be one of my talking points for the tour when we're just kind of, I'm gonna ask the kids, that's basically the same question. And I was like, there is a lot of great Christmas movies. People might not like my order, but I think I might have the right five. Number one for me is National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. That's number one, mainly because it's funny as I'll get out. But that scene where he's watching old family movies in the attic, and that song, God, dude, it gets me. I almost cry every single time.
Yeah.
And it's it's just one of my favorite movies. Number two, some people say it's not a Christmas movie. I do. Home Alone. Is that a Christmas movie to you?
100%, dude.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
100%. Yeah.
Three would be Elf.
Okay.
Four would be The Grinch, and five would be Die Hard.
I love that. Couple of takeaways from that top five. Number one, growing up, the only version of Christmas Vacation I saw was the TBS version,
Yes.
and there's a non-TBS version out there. And if you're not ready for it, there's
Is
a
it
few.
bad?
No,
Oh my
I
gosh.
think there's a couple f bombs in the original. Believe
Oh yeah.
Chevy Chase,
Well,
man.
I mean,
But
yeah, that happens around here when I'm hanging the Christmas tree too. So
but
just kidding.
no, but it was TBS. God bless TBS.
Dude, my
And that's
dad,
you know
like, we would watch Roadhouse, like
yeah,
on TV, and I went to go watch it one time, and I was like, "Oh my, turn it off! What are we doing?
it's
This is
crazy.
terrible."
It's crazy. And then Elf, a few years back, the church we're on staff at, we've been here almost for 3.5 years, and
Oh, that's cool.
my first Christmas here, we do this Operation Christmas every year where we turn our church into a winter wonderland and people can come and get gifts for free. And it's this whole thing.
Oh, that's
And
awesome.
I showed up and didn't have anything. I was like, what do you want me to do? And this lady happened to be walking by with a Buddy the Elf costume. And she said, you look about the right height. You want to be the elf? And
Thanks,
uh,
lady.
and now I apparently was born to be Buddy the Elf. Every year, that's my role. And last year we got crazy with it and did some Instagram reels, and one of them went viral like almost 2 million views of
Oh,
me
wow.
as Buddy the Elf singing uh, some brain rot version. I think it's like Dashing Through the Snow on the Way to Ohio. I don't know. It's like a it's like a made up version, like a or like a
Yeah,
I don't know a different a remix, a Gen Z remix of
that's
this
funny.
Christmas song, and it's me in the full wig. I mean, I'm telling you,
You got to send me that.
yeah,
I'll
I
go
would do.
find it.
It's so great. It's great. It's wild. But the first time I watched Elf, true story, when it ended and it rolled the credits, I said, "This is a classic, instant classic." Like you
Yep.
could it just you can tell, and it has stood the test of time.
Oh,
Um,
100%.
and with Home Alone, it is a Christmas movie, but I watch it all the time. Like it doesn't
Yes.
matter, like if it's June, I'm gonna watch it. And I'm old enough to remember going to the theater to see Home Alone 2
Yeah, I did
on
too.
Thanksgiving, and it was crazy, bro. I love it. Yeah.
Home Alone also is the same to me as well. I have the same thought process about Taken, all the Taken
Yeah.
movies. Like, at what point do we call social services? Like, it's happened once. It shouldn't have. But dude, like, how many times you gonna leave a kid at home? How many times you gonna let your daughter get kidnapped? Like, if you have a special set of skills, then make one of them being a better parent. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
I'm screaming. Nowadays, they would just check Live 360 and it would be the shortest movie ever. But back then, and then every kid, you're like, "Oh, snap, I better not get left behind." Speaking of
we
left,
grew up during that one.
yeah,
Left
yeah,
Behind was our generation of like
dude.
actual Left Behind.
Yeah. Oh, bro, that was my first horror movie, Left
Yeah.
Behind. With Kirk Cameron. I texted somebody the other day, I couldn't find him, and I said, "I guess the rapture has happened and we're part of the tribulation force
Yeah,
because I
we
can't." Yeah.
Tribulation Force. That's great. Can you
Yeah.
imagine though if we'd have had Life 360 as kids? Like,
Dude.
I feel so bad for these kids, but I'm
Mhm.
glad that I have them for my kids.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. Okay, a couple more things, we'll let you go. Top 5 holiday dishes. This can be Thanksgiving, Christmas, a lot of crossover there, but, like, if you gotta pick your plate, and it's one of those paper plates with which I don't use these plates because I need room, but say it's one of those plates with the little 5 margins,
Yeah.
what are you putting on that plate?
I'm going ham as my meat. Um, I cook a good turkey, but if I'm not cooking it, it worries me a little bit. So I need to make sure ham's there because turkey can go south real quick. So I'm going ham. I'm going dressing, cream corn, a thing my grandma makes called cabbage casserole,
Mm,
and then banana pudding
come on,
to
listen,
round it out.
Nanner pudding.
Nanner pudding,
As
dude.
we say it in the South. No, listen, bro, I'm gonna hurt myself this I try to eat healthy most of the time. Low, kinda do like a low carb thing and watch my sugar. I'm 40 and or 20 times 2, is what I tell myself. So I'm trying to like, preserve my youth. And I want to look like Chris Tomlin at his age. And I think it
Yeah.
takes a minor starvation. I don't know.
It takes work.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we're also kind of. I turned 38 this year, so we're at the same. Our bodies are feeling the same, and it's like I have to keep Tums on me now. You know, and like used to, dude. I could roll up in a gas station and eat whatever. It's like it's bad now.
Yeah.
I drink lime water every day to start my day with a little bit of this like it's not Himalayan salt, but it's like the salt that I got from some health person. It's like
Um,
what am I doing, man? You know,
some good listen, I get it.
it
Some
probably don't even work. It's probably fake.
we yeah, I take a little anointing oil every morning. I just go to the altar, put a little anointing oil in my coffee and just pray. Jesus, take the
What's anointing oil
and
for you?
uh
You
I
mean like actual anointing oil?
no, I'm kidding. But yeah, we
Oh,
actually have at our church, we're Baptist-costal around here,
oh,
we
dude, we got anointing oil
okay.
up front. Yeah, I grew
Yeah,
up Baptist Costal.
come on. We just
I and now I'm
yeah.
Church of God, and I went to the Church of God first time, and I was like, my gosh, they're full on Costal, dude.
Dude, I actually grew up Church of God,
Really?
and so now I've kind of found a what I hope to be a pretty healthy balance.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, though, like if I got, I lean Bethel more than I do like I'll take my shoes off and cry,
Oh
to
yeah,
for some
I'm in
worship.
it.
when God moves. I'll get a little teary. But that's awesome, dude. Well, we'll let you go, man.
Yeah.
I feel God in this Chili's, as they say. But before we do, let us know, where can we find you online. I know you're on Instagram. I don't know if you do. I don't really do TikTok. I tried, wasn't cool enough. But where can we
Yeah.
find you?
So at Rhett Walker on Instagram, at Rhett Walker Music on Facebook for all the 50 and above, um, and and at Rhett Walker on TikTok. I don't do much TikTok either, but like when I got a release coming out, like we put a bunch of stuff on there, and for people that watch this and go, he's got TikTok. Like, why is he should? I ain't gonna ever have TikTok. I got a word from the Lord for you. Everybody has TikTok. And there's a lot of older people going to go, no, I don't. No, you do. It just means you watch 2-month old TikToks on Facebook
Yep.
Reels.
Yep. Come on.
You hear that, Mom?
And we're gonna cut it. That's the perfect ending. Thank you so much, Rhett, for hanging out
Yeah,
with us.
brother.
And Mom, if you're seeing his TikToks 2 weeks later on Facebook, now you know why. But we've had a great time. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. Find Rhett everywhere. If you're one of those 4 lucky stops this Christmas for the tour, you are blessed and highly favored of the Lord. But we'll see you next time. Listen, Rhett, this is how I end it. So I'm going to look you. I know we're not face to face, but I'm going to look you in the eye as I say this. It's how we end every podcast. You ready? Here we go. Thank you for watching the Worship Nugs podcast. We'll see you next time. Stay saucy. Let's
Yes.
go.